Greetings, all model railroaders. Today we'll be showing you how to weather a Walther's mainline SD70 ACE, but the techniques that we show you can be used on pretty much any model locomotive. So, as I've already said, this is a Walther's mainline SD70 ACE. We got it in the CSX scheme, even though they've retired those recently. So, Walther's mainline, as some of you probably already know, is lacking in detail parts, shall we say, but they have great running locomotives and the sound is very good. So, we may add detail parts later if necessary. Before we start weathering, I'd like to say thanks to Josh Clark of NS Modeler 24. We received lots of inspiration from his video. The link for that video will be in the description. So, let's get started. It's a very nice looking locomotive, whether it's missing the detail parts or not. So obviously we're going to want to mask our windows because we don't want them to be weathered. They would be clean, obviously. So we're just going to kind of eyeball the size of the window and then try and cut that size out of our tape. Sometimes it crumples like that, but usually you can fix that. So we're just going to mask all the clear parts. There. You can see that part isn't getting any paint on it. So then we're going to continue with that, with all the other parts. So I'm just going to show you how to do the headlights and stuff. You're going to cut off small squares for the ditch lights. Those are protected. And now the headlights. Note that you will not probably want to cover up the number boards because they would have ordinarily a little bit of grime, but be careful with those because you don't want to make them illegible with the paint. Okay, now we are done with our masking. So as you can see, we have done the headlights, the ditch lights, all of the cab windows, including those that are on the side and the back, and then also the tail light right there. And of course, all on this side too. So, now we are ready to begin weathering. Okay, Now we are ready to begin weathering. So we're just gonna start out with a very light coat. I'm going to make this light weathering so as if to suggest that it's fairly new. So I've found, as you can see, that looks pretty good. So I found that the optimal mixture is, I just kind of eyeballed the mixture, but approximately 3 parts Acrylics Vallejo Rust, right here, which came from this set, Rust and Shipping Effects, which you can get at your local hobby shop, to 1 part gunmetal, and then we also added 1 part Windex to act as a finish. So let's continue. So we're going to want to turn the trucks in a little bit so that we can weather these little corners on the fuel tank too. Looks like I messed up a little bit there. So I'm just gonna grab this cloth that I have for just such an occasion. And I'm just kind of clean that off. You could also use a brush to kind of spread that around if it's hard to clean up that mistake that you got there. And just make it look natural. So let's continue. So I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out there on the bottom. Gonna do a little bit on that part. And then I'm going to do a really light coating all on the bottom. So then that looks pretty good. So we can turn it and do the front some. This part would naturally be very dirty and grimy. Airbrush is acting up here. Okay. good. Now we're going to do this side. The key is to do everything lightly and add on more layers as you go. There. Okay, so then we can do the back. This part would be less dirty than the front, but still a little gritty. And then what I like to do is I like to put my airbrush really far back and just coat like the whole thing basically. And then I'm going to do a little more on the top around the exhaust. Actually, I'm going to do it a little bit heavier, like where this vent here is in the back. And then do the same on the other side. And then we're just going to do some along the top. Now, you got to be careful with this model because the exhaust actually double functions to prevent the decoder from overheating. So the decoder is right under this vent, and this vent is open. So I'm going to go about that carefully. I don't want to get too much paint on the decoder. And then, like I said, this locomotive is like medium. It's been around. It's been working the railroad for not too long. So we're just going to kind of give a light dusting to the radiator fans back here. And then the exhaust, slightly heavier, but not too much. And then that's the airbrush weathering. Next, we will explore how to do some pastel weathering with chalk pastels. Okay, so the next step in our weathering, we are going to weather around the exhaust and the various vents that are all around the engine using a gray chalk pastel. Ordinary gray chalk pastel, you can probably find it at your local arts and crafts store, or maybe your hobby store like we got ours. So, we also have a stiff bristled brush, which still has pastels in it from last time apparently. And you're just going to press down and scrub really hard on the pastel. And then you can see we've picked up some pastel in the brush. And then you're just going to take it and pat it on here. And then you can blow to remove excess. Just blow lightly or you'll blow it all away. And then you can do more if you prefer. I think we might do a little bit more. And then you can do it at other places that you want to, that you think should have that sort of sooty look to them. So like, for example, on the SD70 AC's distinctive radiator grills. A lot of it tends to get on the walkway, but you can just blow it away. And then you can turn around and do the same thing on the other side. You can really do as much of this as you want and blow it away if you don't like it, so there's not really any mistakes. You can get it to how you like it without fear of messing up. And you can see I'm just freely applying it all over the vents because I can fix it later. So then I'm just going to blow away or wipe away what I don't want. And then you still have that kind of ashy look to it. Now, we're going to use Acrylics Vallejo matte varnish, which is also from the Rust and Chipping Effects set. And we're going to just set up our airbrush. I like how it comes in these little bottles. You can just squeeze it right into the cup. Maybe a little more. Some other brands of dull coat, I've noticed they kind of make the pastels disappear. I have not tried this one before, but it's more designed for this kind of thing. So let's try it. I think I need to add a little bit of thinner. So what I do is I usually just get my cloth so I don't spill it all over the place. And just pour some in the cap. Maybe a little more. And then in turn, you add as much of that as you deem necessary to your mixture. So then we're just going to swish that around a little bit, get it mixed up. And then you're just going to, at this stage you want to make sure that you don't have any of the powder in places that you don't want it. Because after you put on the varnish, it's there forever. You can't fix it. So I'm pretty satisfied with it. So I'm just gonna kind of worky. Looks like it's still got some brown in it. Okay. So I'm just gonna cover the whole thing with this clear coat. This can also, the airbrush, the paint that you put on with the airbrush can also be delicate, so this will seal that on as well. So then I'm going to carefully turn this around. And do the other side. Okay, the final step in our weathering how-to is we're going to simulate fuel drips with Model Master flat black paint and a thin brush. So it's pretty simple. First you want to locate the fuel filling nozzle on your model, which will be there. We'll also do the other side. And just get a little bit of paint. And just kind of do that to simulate some drippage. And then you might want to brush it some more so it looks like it's kind of thinned out and some of it's washed away with the weather. Alright, so we've done the same on the other side. At this point you can put on another clear coat if you want. I don't think we need to, but I guess you can be better safe than sorry. So this has been our how-to tutorial on weathering model locomotives. Thanks for watching, and I hope your locomotives look great!